This podcast contains adult language, descriptions of violence, sexual references, and other possibly offensive themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to this episode of Back to the Story, where friends come together to play Dungeons and Dragons. I'll be your DM, Klouse. Let's get started.
How do three paladins of separate gods?
But if you ask me what my calling would be, I'd say that of a defender of my friends. I would give my life to see them through.
I could have, but I didn't. And every day has been beautiful since.
I think I'm surrounded by good things.
A cleric on a hunt for redemption.
I need it for my friends, family, these people that I love, who have always been the answers to my prayers.
Whatever the hell you are.
I don't know if deserving has anything to do with anything.
A storyteller.
And if you ever need me ever again, let me know.
And one I haven't figured out yet.
I think that would take me a while to find someone more knowledgeable than me.
All come together. And there's not a bit of fate in that?
I think you mispronounced friends.
Well, I will drink to that.
When you see God's rest surrounded by armies, then know that his desolation has come near. Take these wings to Nymunet. Carry them home.
Do we actually have everybody here today?
I blame everyone but me.
Yeah, everybody's here.
Yeah.
Are you recording?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get started so I can figure out what the fuck you guys are doing. Oops, spelled that word wrong. Alright, so previously, Chapter 42, God's Rest. The bronze scales finally arrived into the ancient and holy city of Nymunet. In the ancient solarium of Valisol, Kalvyn was resurrected, opening eyes gilded like the sun. However, death rang its toll upon Kalvyn, leaving him in much need of rest. After leaving Kalvyn to rest under the watch of Meli, the scales explored the ancient city, coming upon the Odysseus temple to Voltamari. After some hesitation, Ellory leapt into the storm, finding herself falling through a storm miles above the water. After being battered about by the storm, she fell into blackness beneath the waves before being pulled out by Gath the Salted, Stormwalker. The scales then climbed the hill of Redemption Zenith. There, Vesper spoke to Olivia Newdawn, bringing the feathers to the altar of the High Fane. Finalizing her pilgrimage, Seraphar Diether appeared, from the feathers proclaiming Vesper redeemed. Eventually, the scales made their way back to the Weary Traveler's Inn, having a few drinks across the street before turning in. The next day, Ezekiel and Ellory traveled out of the city and into the old growth, where Titus Greatsnow pointed them towards the Vivis tree. There, Ezekiel spoke to the seat of Asinthma, discovering much of the circle of stars and constellations of the Divine Gate. We come back to the story here, in the ancient and holy city of Nymunet. The early morning chill breaks as the beacon of the sun rushes down through white clouds above. The snow-covered city stretches wide with energy as we look through the frosted window to see the scales gathering back again. What would you like to do?
Well, is Kalvyn awake?
What day is it? Yeah, that would be a DM call. What day is it?
It is the 15th.
Okay.
So
what day did I die?
It's been like 3 days.
No, Kalvyn is not awake.
Kalvyn refuses to move until his negatives are away.
Okay. So you guys will say we'll have the week letting Kalvyn recover. If you guys want to get used to the city, traveling around, asking questions, we'll kind of move through that week. Or you can have any conversations, whatever you guys wanted to do.
I don't know if anybody else wanted to have anything before we all gathered together, but Ellory definitely wants to go back to the temple before too long.
And I do want to talk to Bál, probably the second day we're in town.
Okay, I think it's either the second or the third day that you guys have been in town. You guys are free to do whatever it is you want.
I'll find Bál then, I guess. Before in the morning, before I head up to the temple, I'll find Bál. If Roger's here.
Yeah, I have no idea what Bál is doing, so you find Bál.
Okay, cool. Hey, how are you? Now that we're all settled in.
Looking forward to seeing Kalvyn back.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna head up to Aein's temple. Did you want to come?
Ball nod. Are you going now?
Yeah. I was just about to head out.
Okay, I'm ready.
Cool. And I will go with Ball and excitedly tell him everything about how cool it is as we go.
Okay. As you're traveling, is there anyone else doing anything? Okay. All right.
Sorry, I was a little bit distracted writing something down. Yeah, Ellory wants to... I guess this would be after getting back from the Vivis tree. Ellory wants to go back to the, if I'm remembering the name correctly, the Adisic Temple.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Just alone?
Anyone who would like to come with me is welcome, but I guess it depends on if they have other things they want to do. So, if not, then I'll just go on my own.
Okay, so we have Vesper and Bál are going to Aein. You're going to the Adisic Temple. Amsen, Ezekiel, Meli, Kalvyn.
I think Ezekiel will just stay by the grove, finding keepers if he can. I think he's waiting to hear any word from Dane about Briarbridge.
Okay. Meli and Amsen, are you just hanging out with Kalvyn, or did y'all have anything?
Can I see if I can find Mavis Cassidy? I think I was supposed to meet her here.
Okay. Yeah, you can try to find her. Yeah, we'll go ahead. Yeah, we'll do that. How are you trying to find her?
Asking people?
Okay.
Is that like a sign-in desk?
There is the main gate, so you guys didn't sign when you walked in, but you did come through. You could ask there if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'll ask her.
Okay. So you go there, make your way through the cities, which is, this big city is much more like a couple cities that are very close together. It's very different as you move from one district to the next. And you go towards the Halls of Valor, which is the district for Valisol, the god of war, where you see a much heavier armed military presence. You see a few that are riding on dire wolves. And Meli, this is familiar. You were a kid when you grew up in Whitestone, but these sights are familiar. But you go towards the main gate where you see there's actually a few gates as well as a kill hall, which would funnel people in. And if there was any sort of invasion, they would be able to mount a resistance. And you see a number of guards there, vanguards, with their cloaks of woven fur and their armor.
Can I ask one of them? Or are they busy?
They look at you as you approach. What was it?
Hi, I was wondering if you may have seen someone. She's called Mavis Cassidy, and then I will describe her to them.
As you ask him, give me a persuasion check. This is more general than just for him. Did I not say Wolfrath? What did I say?
I think you said Valisol.
Oh, shit. Not Valisol. Wolfrath.
I accidentally rolled with disadvantage, but I think that's meant to be a 20.
Ooh, a 20, yeah. Asking around, asking them, giving them a description of them. We haven't seen either one. Well, that description come through. If they're wearing that armor, though, they'd probably be at the Precipice, if I had to guess.
That is west.
North. That's Akashorn, the god. Though you said a few days ago.
Yeah.
You might not be here yet. And she got a fast horse.
She did have a really fast horse, but I don't know whether she has it anymore.
Yeah, I'd check there. That'd be your best bet.
Okay, thank you. And I will head up that way.
Okay. So you take the next little while, head up north, asking around. As you get up there, you see a much heavier presence of Dragonborn. You see guard drakes, which are like these draconic scaled dogs that are moving about. And you see a large pyramidal-esque temple. You see the top is flattened as if, and with an overhang above that, as if for something very large to be able to land at the top. Give me a general persuasion check for asking around there. You could also give me an intelligence check if you wanted to do more of an investigation. We can call it that.
Is that either or?
Yeah, either or.
I'll do intelligence. 12.
Okay. Moving about, you kind of steer clear of the areas that seem less Mavis. You decide to head towards where the stables would be. That seems like the most likely path. Going there, asking around there, you do see an older dragonborn bent over. The scales look gray. You're not sure if they were once silver or some other color. You see this hunched over dragonborn who's scrubbing the hooves of some horse. After you give them the description. I saw a horse of that description. They bought some supplies for the horse. I can't remember exactly. Maybe.
How long ago?
Yesterday.
Do you know where they went?
No. I can keep an eye out.
Oh, I wasn't sure. She was like, hey, I'm here in the city for this reason. I'm going over this way.
No, she just bought some supplies.
Okay. Well, thank you.
I'll help for you.
You know what? I just had a really good idea that I came up with completely on my own. Can I cast sending?
You sure can. You sure can. After trying the more mundane methods and not quickly finding much, you can certainly cast sending instead.
I'll do that. I'll just say, hi, it's Meli. I'm in Nymunet, and I wanted to make sure you're okay.
And, Meli? Hey, yeah, I'm fine. And you could hear in the background, like the sound of loud water rushing. Just, heading through the viaduct. I think it's this way. Don't worry about, Sassafras. She came back. She's alright.
Cool. I was asking you, that's great, I'm glad. Do you still want help with your research, or are you good?
So you cast sending again?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Meli, is less of research and more delving into the deepness below this place. There's a foulness here. Akashan has given me visions, and I must comply. I don't know if she has any letters left.
How many times did it? I can do it 3 times. Okay, I'll send it one last time and just say, well, if you need help, just let me know.
I wouldn't turn it down. After seeing this, I'm probably going to get some supplies. I'll try to meet up with you. What district are you in?
What district did you say I was in?
You all have been staying... Actually, she kind of pauses, realizing you can't respond again. I'll be in the Precipice.
I'll nod to myself, because I can't say anything else.
Okay. So, Meli, you go on a search and eventually contact Mavis, who has made it to Nymunet, somewhere near rushing water called the Viaduct. And as you head back, we'll jump over to Vesper and Bál. You guys were heading to the temple?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys go up towards that risen hill where you see some of the more simple buildings. You pass the orphanage and the hospital on the way, and are you going through the temple proper?
Yeah, I think Olivia told me to meet her in the temple, and she was going to introduce me to people who would train me.
Okay. So you go to the temple itself. Once you get there, you ask around for Olivia. A few minutes later, she comes down. About 10 minutes later, she kind of comes down. I sent word to the hospital that you'd be training. They're busy, but I think I got you with a healer. Yes.
Oh, I was just going to introduce this to my brother, Bál.
Brother? Oh, hello?
More or less.
Bál?
He's also a follower of AIN.
She raises her hand to shake yours, Bál. You see this human, older, still wearing partial armor, partial robes.
Bál lowers his hand to shake hers.
She kind of like grabs a finger and shakes hers. Well, you're certainly welcome to stay here. until they make room. They did say they would contact you once they're ready for you. I suspect it'd be sometimes this week.
Before you go, and then I'll look at Vesper, kind of like back at Vesper and back at her while I say this and say, do you know who I can speak to about visions from AIE?
More visions. I suppose you can talk to me. What kind of visions?
And then Bál will kind of recount the tale of the peasant-looking guy that with the black eyes that came up to him and left him the spooky prophecy. And, back into it, Bál goes, and he said to me, when I see God's rest surrounded by armies, then I will know that its desolation comes near.
She kind of slack-jaws for a moment. She looks over at someone and kind of nods her head, and another individual comes over. A male high elf comes over with silvered hair and light eyes. She gets you, would you mind saying that again? And as the elf pulls out a piece of parchment and writes it down as you repeat it. That doesn't bode well. Does that sound familiar to you? The high elf kind of shakes his head. No, but we could look into it, see if there's any records of it. I could go to the reserve, see if they could give up any information. Olivia kind of nods. That would be quite helpful. Have you had many of these, Bál? These visions?
Bál kind of thinks back, and as he's kind of thinking, he's just remembering when he's had kind of unusual dreams. And then he looks back and says, not like this. This was the first time that someone spoke to me when I was awake.
Okay. If you have any more, let me know. And we'll try to find out if there's any records of this. And we'll contact you. We can reach out. You both are free to stay here. We don't have fine accommodations, but we do have some.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course. If you have any questions, ask Council Farin here. He'll get with you. All right? You have to go. And at this point, you see a few other armored Vindicators, Knights of AIE, and you kind of come up to her, and they were waiting kind of impatiently over her shoulders, and she kind of gestures to you, says farewell, and moves with them, walking rather quickly down the hall.
And then kind of, as we're kind of sitting there, or standing there, Bál's like, well, it is beautiful here.
Yes. Do you want to see if they'll let us see the griffins? Ones that won't try and tear our lungs out?
Does everyone know what a griffin is in this world?
Yeah, we fought them.
Oh, right. Well, when I said that, I meant other lowly people. So maybe Bál's eyes will ever so slightly light up, and he'll say, that could be nice.
Let's go ask around.
Okay. You guys ask around, and you discover there is sort of a landing tower where the trained griffins kind of are housed, basically stables for them. Nearby is sort of a raised platform. And yeah, they point you in that direction if you want to go.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys walk over in that direction. Who else? There was Ellory, who was doing something at the Odysseus Temple.
Yeah.
Okay. So you make your way back there. Again, the wind and storm and constant mist from inside. And compared to some of the other temples you went with the scales to visit, this one is by far the least populated and is by far probably the smallest. It's still massive, but comparatively much less populated.
I think I'll take a quick glance around. If I don't immediately see my rescuer on this level, then before going to look for him, I want to go back up to the platform for a few minutes.
Okay. Moving inside, you don't immediately see him. You see a few others that are moving and going away from the storm itself, but you don't see him specifically. You can make your way up the steps to the top.
So I'm just going to sit down there on the platform for a few minutes and just look into the storm and think about that leap that I made and just remember what that felt like before I go looking for Gaff.
As you stare off into the storm for a few minutes, after a few minutes, your skin is soaked through from the mist and rain, even through the armor and under cloaks. As you kind of close your eyes and your hair kind of stands up from the electric energy in the room, give me a wisdom check, just straight wisdom.
Okay. That's an 18.
Okay. After a few minutes, you close your eyes and you almost block out everything else besides the sound of the thunder and the rain and the rushing wind and water around you. And you can almost feel a surge of energy, that same energy you have used to conjure those sphere of storms. You can almost feel it. There's a connection drawn in a similar way between you and the magic of the storm before you. It's a moment of exhilaration. You remember the fear in falling, but the moments of exhilaration and excitement outweigh those and overpower them.
After a few minutes in which I find myself smiling again, maybe not realizing it, I'm going to get up and go down and try and look for Gath in what seems to be that area going underneath where I am now.
So there's a few passageways to the side that go under. These seem to serve as almost drains to keep the water from filling up this underchamber, basically. But you can go down and under into a relatively dry area. You can see the wall where the storm funnels into. That kind of sits in the middle of this underchamber. But in here, you see a few altars. You see several other people, a few sitting down. Looking around, you don't immediately see Gath. You see a few others. You do see Kari, who you met the other day.
Okay, I was going to ask about her too.
So you do see her that you recognize. There's a few others that you don't recognize. You see a human with a armor of scales, as well as a cloak of blue scales, a female. And you also see a male with blue skin, who's wearing, looks like galvanized stone, and it carries a large maul. The others look more normal wanderers with simple cloaks and simple armor. Those stick out.
So I'm going to go up to Kari.
Returned. You see the tanned elf, dark skin, dark hair, light hazel eyes, and the simple clothes and cloak.
Yeah, I managed to make it back with a little bit of help.
I heard. Gath bitched at me about that one. So you're back? You gonna jump in again?
Maybe not right away. I think you were right about me not being quite ready.
Mm.
But I would like to make myself ready. Try that again sometime.
Gath would be the one for that, if you're one for ships. Saris there likes to help everyone. She might be willing. A little cautious for my taste, though. When she says Saras, she kind of nods her head towards the female woman in the scaled cloak.
Do you do that often?
Yes. I'm learning. Learning to windwalk.
Windwalk?
You saw Gath do it. Fly through the storm.
Yeah.
Oh, stormwalk. I misspoke. Second language.
How long have you been doing that?
Couple months. Gotten where I don't die, which is good.
Yeah, I think we'd all rather not die.
It happens to the best of us. At least once.
I kind of tilt my head at that.
I was in the desert a couple centuries ago. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I've forgotten it.
Where does that Where is that storm, by the way? Like, where does it come out?
Near Gaethalt.
Ah.
The storm, Walter Mary. She rested here like the others for a time, but she didn't stay here. And when she left, most of her followers did the same. There's this small junction that connects this place to that. That's why this place is so empty most of the time.
Because most people go there?
Yes. But it doesn't always take you to the same place. You hop in there and you get a fallout on any storm. All across North Hill. If you're lucky, it's near Gaethalt. If you're unlucky, you wash up on some Dreadland shore with hobgoblin katanas at your throat.
Now that sounds like the voice of personal experience.
Maybe a little.
I guess I was lucky then.
She stands up from her seat. If you want to train, you'll need to get a stormwalker to help you. Garth is one of the few that visit here often. There's a ship, and he patrols the storm exit. That's why I found you. Saras can mostly do it. She's not as experienced as Garth, but she's alright. A little cautious, though.
I tend to be the more cautious sort.
Well, you might be good long buddies, then.
That leap was the most reckless thing I've ever done in my life.
Exhilarating, now. Alive.
Yeah, I feel like maybe I should regret it, because if I had been unlucky, things would be very bad for me right now, but...
You'd be dead.
Yes.
And none of your friends would know it. You'd be consumed by a shock somewhere in the middle of the ocean.
Yes. But I still don't regret it.
Good.
Thank you.
Don't thank me. I'm just assaulted, trying to learn how to walk among the storms. Speaking of which, my legs grow reckless and restless, maybe both. Good luck in whatever you're doing.
You too.
She smiles before heading upstairs and leaving.
So then I think I'm going to go from here to introduce myself to the woman she indicated. What was the name that she said again?
Saras. So as you're doing that, Bál and Vesper, and then Meli. So Meli, were you going to the Precipice, or were you going somewhere?
I was going to look for Mavis.
Okay. Yeah, she said she would meet you, or she would find you in the Precipice. Okay. So you wait by the sort of entrance to that district for a couple hours go by. 1-2 hours go by. Eventually you see, among the crowd that are coming in and out, near the entrance is sort of a bazaar, a open market with a number of shops all around. Eventually you see through the crowd a taller individual moving on a horse. As she gets closer, you do recognize Sassafras and Mavis in her breastplate with the 2 dragons on each side, and her metallic armored skirt. And she kind of moves through the crowd. She doesn't notice you, as you're one of many in this crowd.
I'll freaking wave, try and get her attention.
She looks around, hearing her names, and then sees you waving before steering Sassafras over. She comes to the side and hops off. Good to see you. She gives you a hug.
Good to see you too. And Sassafras alive?
Yeah, she's tough. Don't worry about her.
Do you know what happened?
I
don't know, like, the horse wouldn't be able to tell you, so I'm guessing you don't know what happened.
No, I reckon it wasn't good, though.
Yeah, we got attacked by bugbears, but it's all okay now.
You're right.
They're all dead. So
who's dead?
the bugbears. I'm Kalvyn for a bit, but now he's not.
Your friend Kalvyn?
Yeah.
He's back?
Yeah.
I'm glad it all worked out.
Yeah, me too.
It had it coming. Well, I don't know if you'd be interested, but there's a mine down there that I think leads below. My vision sees high and moving like rivers, and below that eye that I told you about. Seems the most direct route, but I don't know. I'll need some supplies if I'm going down there.
Like weapons or food or...
Well, I have weapons, but maybe food. Mercenaries or someone might be nicer. Just have to see if I have the coin for it, but...
I could ask I don't know if I think my friends are busy, but I could ask if they could help.
Akashan will guide me either way. And there might be some people in the Precipice here that might be interested. Maybe I can get some just cause on the case. Where you heading? Give you a ride?
I have forgotten where my friends are.
Meli knows where the district is. And where they're staying.
I know where my friends are.
She offers to give you a ride back.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I will accept.
Okay. You get on the back of the horse, she kind of turns it around and begins heading back to the other district. Ezekiel, after waiting, you hear, after a bit, you hear sort of the whistles on the wind of the birds. And you hear these words come through. Dead, night, danger, caution, more to come. So you get these snippets of words that come whistled through the animals and on the birds.
Okay, that's not great. I head back in to go find everybody else.
Okay. See Bál and Vesper. So you guys wanted to see the gryphons. You move up to, it's called Jove's Landing Tower. You're pointed there. It's nearby to the temple. As you move up, you do see above a few gryphons that kind of land. You see a few people getting on and off above this high landing tower. There doesn't appear to be, or there appears to be only one entrance, and then there's a spiral staircase that leads up to the top. There is a gate at the base that appears to be locked. But you can see the gryphons kind of landing on the edge. You can just barely hear of them likely feeding the gryphons.
Is there anyone around we can ask to go upstairs?
There doesn't seem to be anyone guarding the gate.
Can I try the gate?
There's a padlock there. It's locked.
I have one of Ellory's lockpicks. I don't know how to use it, but I can try.
I think it would, if Bál notices you doing that, then Bál will try to stop you, but if you're just like...
No, I'm saying it out loud. I'm like,
okay.
You want me to...
Okay, then Bál's like, no, it's better if we don't cause any trouble in the new city, since we tend to do that everywhere we go.
That's true. Let's find someone we can ask to go up.
Bál will nod and kind of, on his tippy toes, look around and see if he can see anybody.
You see a few pilgrims that were heading towards the temple. There's a few other armored individuals, and it looks like priests or people taking people into the nearby hospital.
While Bál's looking around and you can't quite see anybody immediately, he'll look back at the door and say, do you think we should just try to knock?
Yeah, that might work.
So Bál will try to knock.
Okay. You knock on these metal bars. It rises up about 120 feet or so into the air, where you see the kind of landing at the top. Give me just a general, strength check, we'll say.
That's a 20 on my knocking check.
Okay. As you're knocking...
knock it out of the park.
You knock it out of the park. And no one immediately comes to the gate, but you do kind of looking around, looking up. You can see an individual silhouetted against the backlight of the sun. You see a humanoid-esque looking person kind of leaning and looking over the edge. They lean back. A minute later, you hear of a griffin leaping out of the landing and kind of circling around, descending and landing about 20 feet from you. You see there, you see a Vindicator armored with a cloak, looking over, helm closed, looking to you on the griffin as he kind of turns it.
Wow,
yes,
they really are beautiful.
Yeah. We were just hoping to get a glimpse at some of the griffins.
This one's frothy. And as he kind of steers the griffin over, you see a griffin of dark gray-brown feathers. You can see the head is actually black, and there's a spine of darker feathers along its back, leading towards the tail feathers, which are long and dark.
Does it look like a similar color to the griffins that we fought a while ago?
Similar, yeah. A little different coloring, but similar. You actually thinking that the chest does have sort of a crimson color on the chest.
So maybe quietly, to not too loud, but just kind of loud enough that Vesper can hear. I'll be like, that looks like similar griffin feathers to the ones that we got before.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just sort of markings of the ones in this area. Or maybe they all have that.
Maybe. What do you mean when you say the griffin is frothy?
What is its name? Frothy.
Oh, I thought it was sick.
No.
And as you see this kind of tall, annoyed man, you can see his eyes are like silver gold behind the helm. You can see the bit of skin that's not covered by armor is sort of a darkened gray.
You've seen it.
Maybe touch it?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
You see this massive beak, looks like you could take your arm off.
And we're not allowed up in the tower at all.
Do you have a key?
No.
Are you a griffin?
No.
Then that would be no.
I'm redeemed.
Sure.
And then that he kind of, not believing you, turns the griffin and flies off.
Goodbye, Frothy.
Jesus Christ.
You named him.
Cat herding continues.
Well, I didn't expect us to get inside, but it was nice to see the griffin up close without it trying to bite our faces off.
Yeah, those beaks hurt.
Do you think we'll have to wait long?
I hope not. Should we go back to find the others, or?
Ball will kind of nod and maybe start to walk in that direction. And as they're walking, Ball will say, I hope I didn't scare them with that prophecy. I don't know what it means, but they didn't seem to be too happy to hear it.
Well, desolation is usually a bad thing, and this place is called God's Rest, so the desolation of, the place that they live and worship is probably not a comforting thought, but at least now they can try and prepare for it.
Maybe that man was wrong.
Maybe.
I don't think prophecies always have to come true.
Don't suppose I have enough experience with prophecies to really say one way or the other, though. Maybe you should talk to Ezekiel a bit. He's got lots of ideas about fate and destiny.
Yeah, let's do that. It's better than waiting.
And I think they could train you if you wanted to at the temple. Ways to fight and surveying, if you wanted.
Ball kind of casually shrugs and is like, maybe they can tell me why I shoot fire now.
Yeah, maybe.
So, what do you want to do first?
That's a good question. There's a lot to do, and I don't know how long we'll be here, but a while, I'm sure. Why don't you pick?
I wonder what Ezekiel is doing.
Let's go find Ezekiel.
Fade to black.
Okay, so you guys are you going to meet him back at the inn, or what?
Sure. So that's where he's at?
Yeah, if that's the last place we know that he's at, then we'll head there.
I mean, y'all know he left to the grove, but, the outer growth is a ring of forest surrounding the city, so you don't know where he is.
For the love of God, can we go to the inn?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Okay, well, let's tie up this loose end. So you guys, everyone's heading back to the inn. Ellory, you're in the temple. And Carrie just wandered off.
Right, so I was going to go introduce myself to...
It's Saras.
Okay. So I'm going to go introduce myself to her.
As you step towards them, the kind of light bluish skin man in the galvanized stone armor kind of steps forward and kind of slows your path. Kind of rests his hands on his maul, his belt.
Hi.
Hey. Who are you?
My name is Ellory.
What do you want?
I was just talking to Kari over there, and she said that...
What? What'd you say?
She said that I might want to talk to Saras. About learning.
Another one. Well, she hasn't turned away one yet. Voyager. He looks over and you see Saras, who's kind of leaned over a map. And she's kind of looking through it and kind of drawing connections. He turns over and sees him, who nods towards you. Hey. My name is Saras. Salted. Your name?
Hi, I'm Ellory.
What can I do for you, Ellory?
Well, I just recently started following Faltamary, or trying to, and I'm hoping to find somebody who could teach me more about her.
We can do that here. How long will you be here? I have something, but how long?
I'm not sure. I came with a group of friends. I know one of them is going to be training here for a while, so at least a few months, but likely more.
Okay. Yeah, I have a few that are wanting to learn more. When I settle this, and she kind of taps on the map, I should be done in a week or two, and then we can go over what you wanted to know about Faltamary, about the storm, Gayvault, whatever questions you have.
Thank you.
This is Bron, by the way. Don't get pushed off by him. He's a tough one, but kind.
Protective, I take it?
Yes, a bit, but in these times. Ellory, when I finish, where can I find you?
I am staying at... I'm staying at the Weary Travelers Inn.
I know the place well. When I get back, I'll leave a message there for you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And good luck with whatever it is that you're working on.
Hopefully it's nothing. As she's rolling up the map. You do see, when you do look over it, briefly before she rolls it up, you don't recognize the landmasses. It doesn't look familiar, so it's probably not Severwind. It's probably not the INL or Western. But other than that, you're not really sure where it is. As she rolls it up, nods to you, and her and Bron walk out and leave. After this, eventually, after many hours and days, you guys eventually all regather back in the Wary Traveler Inn, in the few rooms you've all rented out, with Kalvyn in the bed. Meli is dropped off. Ezekiel makes his way back to the grove. You find yourselves reunited once more.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
How's Kalvyn doing?
Kalvyn?
Are we all just chilling in the same room?
I think there are things we need to discuss, so it'd be ideal.
It's a tight squeeze, but y'all can make it work even if someone's kind of standing at the doorway.
Cool. Then I mean, sure. Kalvyn will be awake.
Oh, good. You're awake, Kalvyn.
Feeling any better?
A bit.
Have you looked in a mirror recently, Kalvyn?
I'm pretty sure he doesn't respond to
that. I'll take out whatever. It's not quite a mirror. I don't know what she's got that's reflective.
I have a mirror.
Great.
Okay, yeah.
So I guess I'll take out my mirror and show Kalvyn his eyes.
As soon as they start moving forward with the mirror, he's going to be like, not for nothing, but I'm sure we didn't all come into the room here to focus on how shitty I look. Can we
No, Kalvyn, your
move
eyes.
this along?
Kalvyn,
Your eyes are gold. I'll
And
take
as-
the mirror and I'll show him. Like,
As they hold up the mirror, you do see, a few bruises on your face from the conflict. But what you notice first is the striking eyes. They're golden. Where they were once greenish are now bright, vibrant yellow gold.
I think Kalvyn gets really pale. I don't know if half-orcs can do that. Then looks very worried and kind of looks away from everybody.
well, it's better than your hair turning white on you.
Why don't we drop this for now? As long as everything's okay, Kalvyn.
I mean, he'll nod, but I don't think he'll actually face anybody.
I ask you one more question, Kalvyn.
He'll turn to her general direction.
Try and remember exactly what they called them. Your honor and your glory. We were asked what those were at the temple, and I realized that none of us knew, and I'm really sorry about that. Maybe you could tell us?
He'll sigh heavily and maybe at this point look to Zeke pleadingly and...
Look, I understand that all of this personal stuff is happening right now, but have you all forgotten the shitstorm of information that has been dropped on us in the last few days? Perhaps we could give Kalvyn a bit of time out of the spotlight while he recovers, while we discuss the possible end of the whole world that we might be dealing with.
Vesper will grit her teeth, but step back.
Ezekiel, do prophecies always come true?
Prophecies are a warning. They come... Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. At least, that's what I believe. A prophecy is given either to someone to try to ensure it happens or to try and make sure it doesn't. It's up to us to see what we do with them.
so something like destiny. We have a choice in how we approach it.
I'd say that's fair. I mean, the destiny comes in when it was brought to us. You were chosen for that message. I believe that means you are called to do something about it.
So there's a lot of information that we have. Where do we start with all of it?
Perhaps what you found when you went to Ezekiel and Ellory when you two went to the Grove the other day.
Well, speaking to the Vivis tree, it brought up that black star again. I had no idea it was connected to whatever was going on with this map that I got, but apparently the black star originated in a druid circle, a circle that lived in the stars. I don't know exactly how they did that, but there was someone who twisted what those circles were supposed to be used for, the keeper of the black star Nerysine. Then I still don't quite know what it is, but apparently this black star might be able to break the divine gate, and soon there'll be some kind of harbinger to come and, I don't know, that'll be the warning? Something before returning.
I was worried about harbingers as well. By Diether at the temple. And she, I think I mentioned it then, but she called all of Nymunet God's Rest. So this is like that prophecy that we heard in Briarbridge.
So, if they are connected, then I can't see how it would be too coincidental if Bál's prophecy and what I just learned were entirely unrelated.
On top of that, everything that we learned about stars, about druid circles among the stars, do you think that might have any connection to Starfall? Since that's something that seems to keep coming up.
Well, the Black Star, forgive me for bringing up that place again, but when we were down in that temple, they were talking about it coming, right? I mean, a star will fall. I assume that's how a black star would arrive, but I'm not sure.
They kept saying over and over and over again to keep their eyes to the sky, to look for the black star.
Do you think these stars fall at night? I don't ever see stars in the day.
Well, I imagine it would be awfully difficult to spot a black star in the middle of the night, but it'd be awfully easy to find it during the day. I don't know how relevant that is to our situation, but speculation.
So, what does it all mean? We're clearly missing pieces still, but what do we do?
Well, we know that the Black Star has something to do with the Divine Gate, right?
Yes.
Right.
And we know that, at least we understand, that the Divine Gate is what is separating our world from wherever the gods reside, correct?
Correct. Meli, when we were talking to that, or when you were talking to that skull back in Whiteguard, it said something about trying to bring the gods back or something?
Yeah, it mentioned something about that.
Does that mean that that armored creature we saw on the other side and that banshee woman are connected to this somehow too?
Possibly.
Well, if they want to have the gods return to whatever their world is, I imagine doing something about the Divine Gate would be an awfully good start to that objective.
Yeah, but that doesn't just keep the good and happy gods out. I don't know. We obviously need to learn more. Maybe we can do that here, but...
this is going to sound really fucking conceited, because it sounds really fucking conceited even in my own head without even saying it out loud. Ezekiel, you know how Mother Willow said that the Waystones were remnants or shards of divinity or something like that?
Yeah. The Vivis tree works the same way. It was a shard of Asima, as I believe.
And I can't remember who said it, but somebody said that the storm in the Odysseus temple was some kind of remnant of Voltimeri, what was left behind when she left.
Makes sense.
So I was doing some reading a while back that compared Waystones and the way that they work to the way people like me work. You know, with the kind of magic I can do, the way that I draw on it, and I don't need books like Meli does, or some kind of divine favor like Vesper. Do you think it's possible... Oh, this sounds so ridiculous. Do you think it's possible that there's some kind of shard or remnant or something in me, and maybe that's what that angel wanted?
Now that's
because she seems to be connected to the star somehow too.
And she was drawn to you.
It makes sense. I mean, it's... your power comes from something. And if that angel, when she appeared, it did imply some kind of divine connection. But she said that you wouldn't do anymore. So something about your power is... I don't know.
Didn't you say the word that she used was wrong?
As best I could translate it, she did use an old version. But wrong doesn't necessarily mean bad or evil. If there's anything I learned from dealing with my own angelic guardian, it's that they have a very specific way things can go. Your choices may have eliminated you regardless, but that doesn't mean that whatever spark you're drawing on isn't from the source she was seeking.
Do we know, out of character, that bracelet that Ellory used to have, do we know that it was from her birth parents? Or did just you know?
I probably would have mentioned it.
Okay.
At some point after I got it.
Ellory, what kind of stone was in that bracelet that you had? The one that you gave to Bál?
It was like an opal.
Okay. Do you still have the sketch?
Yeah, I do. I was actually hoping... Well, here, let me get it out. And I get out the sketch.
Maybe we can
Pass it
show
over.
this around at the temples and see if someone knows what it might be.
Maybe. I mean, I was thinking of maybe showing it to a jeweler, seeing if they could notice anything about the design.
And it might be unconnected, but I still feel a little uneasy about that recent wall that White God put on. Perhaps we could ask at the Temple of Wolfrath, try and gauge, make sure that's not the army that's coming here.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was connected.
Weren't they waging war on the elves, though?
Sure.
They
but
were. When was the last time you knew of a conqueror to only conquer one place?
Well, I mean, the Temple of Wolfrath is already here, so unless they're a different thing, I would imagine that they wouldn't, come here to conquer.
It doesn't mean the elves won't come back from wherever they ran off to. It just says that this place, God's Rest, is surrounded by armies. Doesn't necessarily mean they have to be marching on the city, just that it's surrounded by them. Which, if we look at it on bigger scope, I mean, we could be in that already. There are armies in the INL surrounding this place.
Well, that's an uneasy thought. Well, it's clear we need to find some more things out, and there's information to be learned in this place. Got some troubling news from back in Briarbridge. I had Dane go check it out. He told me to wait, but I don't know. I may have to run back.
Do you need us to come with you?
Honestly, I'll be faster on my own.
I was kind of hoping if you did go back there that I could go along with you and see Orzana.
He told me to wait for now. I'm trying to do that. If I hear more, or if I don't, then we can decide. It seems like you all have a lot to learn here, and I don't want to take you away for my thing. I can make it back.
Should I talk to Orzana, cast Simden, and see what's going on? See if she's alright?
That's not a bad idea. Oh, Ezekiel. You didn't say goodbye to your mom, did you?
I told Maggie to give her a message. I think. I might not have.
Well, I think when it boils down to it, I don't think we quite have enough information to properly act on anything just yet.
So we need to find more information.
Yeah, or let it stumble across us, whichever way works.
I'd rather take a more active approach. Do we want to figure out how to divide and conquer this? I know we all have our own business in this city regardless, but it may be helpful to direct us at different targets.
Well, I would imagine possibly the Temple of Severa would be good. They're knowledge priests. Maybe they have some sort of record of some sort of strange prophecies involving this kind of thing. Black stars and Nymunet.
Oh, another thing that I think it might be a good idea to look into, the artificers. The ones, or the one, who made items that were used as part of the whole Shadowfell, Starfall thing. We might want to find out more about them, especially if there is any connection with this black star. Maybe that was one of the items. Maybe the person who made that was one of the artificers.
Well, the more topics we can research, the better. We might be able to stumble across something.
Then it looks like we know what we're doing. I guess we just await for any changes. For now, this is where we're going to be.
Is everybody doing alright? Figured I'd just, put that out there.
A little bit freaked out by all of this, to be honest.
Well, we're kind of trying to wrestle with the fact that we know that something terrible is about to happen, but we don't know when. And that can often be the most frightening thing, is that we don't know when. Whatever we don't know. But
we don't know when or what to do about it.
Welcome to my entire life.
Well, if I may be a streak of light in our black star of a situation, I find that we know we have to deal with it at some point. but we can't really do anything right now. So the best thing that we can do to simply be watchful. And I think that's all that is expected of us. And that's all that we should expect out of ourselves. Until then, we're Nymunet. We made it to our final destination on this grand trek halfway across the world.
Yeah.
We should at least feel good about that while we can.
This feels like a hug moment. Are we all ready for it?
Always.
Half the group's like, yeah! The other half of the group's like,
Well, I think we've kept Kalvyn awake for long enough.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think it sounds like we got some stuff squared away. If y'all don't mind, I'm starting to feel a little heavy-headed again.
I can try and help ease your recovery if you want.
I mean, whatever you can do, I'd appreciate it.
I will cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level on Kalvyn. I'm sure he's at full hit points, but just to kind of make him feel better.
Ease the pain, yeah. Okay. As you guys have this conversation to begin to move about in the city, have more conversations, go from there, and allow Kalvyn to rest, we will take a break, and when we come back, it will be enough days for Kalvyn to be able to stand. We'll see what you guys do from there. It's been a week. You guys have acclimated to the city. You learned the basic districts as Kalvyn has recovered. And after this time, Kalvyn, though there's a few bruises that are still healing, you are feeling a lot better. You've seen your eyes in the reflections of the water a few times, but you can walk without aching. You can lift your shield with your arm without your arm aching. You can don your armor. And you guys are all in the inn, in your various rooms, as you come back together. What would you like to do?
What time is it? Is it just like in the morning?
Yeah, it's morning time, we'll say.
Well, Kalvyn will gather up his gear and don all his stuff and head downstairs, hopefully looking out for a particular individual. I don't know who's all out there.
As soon as I see Kalvyn on his feet, seeming to be relatively back to his normal self, I'm gonna go over and give him a hug.
When she hugs him, he's gonna kind of, I guess, pull her off to the side, like just say, "Hey, can I talk to you for a minute?"
Yeah, sure. What's up?
Hey, you still have our party funds?
Yeah.
I think I need a little bit of gold. I'm gonna work on something that I think everybody would agree upon. It's not gonna cost that much. DM can enter the amount in this paragraph here, but I don't really want to get into it right now.
Okay.
But I'm sure you all will approve.
Well, let me know what you need, and if I don't have enough right now, I was planning on selling some of the things we've collected to get a little bit more coin.
It really shouldn't cost that much. I mean, a handful of coins, really.
Okay.
He kind of, I guess, drops his pack and kind of grips her lightly by the arm and kind of looks at her for a second. It's like, "Hey," and looks away real quick, not sure what to say.
Kalvyn, are you really okay?
He looks back at her,
Makes eye contact, kind of grimaces, and I think he kisses her on the forehead. And he says,
"I love you guys."
And then he kind of squeezes her arm, picks up his pack, and walks out.
Right back at ya, as he's walking out. Something's up with him. Is Bál around?
Yeah, I assumed you were all together.
Just eating breakfast, just watching that whole
Maybe he
exchange.
pulled her to the side. Yeah, or maybe I was just coming down.
Yeah, the intent was to have pulled her to the side, away from everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess I'm going to go rejoin the others.
Good morning, Ellory. Come join us for a morning meal.
Yeah, sounds good. I know this is not entirely unexpected, but have any of you also noticed that Kalvyn seems a bit off?
He does have gold eyes.
I mean, besides that, I mean, he seems
somber.
like there's something on his mind.
Yeah.
He'll tell us when he's ready.
Yeah.
He's been through a lot.
Yeah. Like you went through, Vesper.
Yeah. It's weird. It's not, I mean, I can't speak for both of us, but, you know, I still think about it sometimes. It's definitely affected me more than I think I want to admit.
I don't know if he'll want to talk to me about it, but maybe one of you might want to offer an ear.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to him about a few things. Sorry, Ezekiel, that it kind of happened while we were all trying to get things sorted out.
I didn't mean to shout at you, at everybody.
That's fine. I've just spent most of my life putting the bigger picture over actually trying to be a good friend. I think I always sort of assumed that being useful to all of you was what was going to be enough, but I haven't actually been there for most of you, and I did want to apologize for that.
You were there for me when I needed you. If you hadn't been waiting for me when I got out, I don't know, it meant a lot to me.
I'm glad. I try sometimes, but I know I'm a selfish person, and want to try and be less so moving forward.
I'm gonna reach over and, because I think it'll probably annoy her, I'm gonna ruffle her hair.
All right. Okay. Thanks. Just kind of try and put it back in some sort of order.
Well, I guess Kalvyn's off to the Temple of Valsol, probably.
At least he's up.
Meli, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
Are you sure about that?
I don't know what you guys want me to say.
Just
I
want
don't
to be
know.
honest.
I don't know. I have no idea what to do and how to help. So I'm just waiting here to see what happens.
Meli, if I may make a suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go to the Temple of Severa at some point. I don't know when, but at some point. When I do, would you like to accompany me and help me research some crazy things?
Yes, I would.
You're smarter than all of us, so I think any research that we want to do, we could use your help.
I would gladly help with any research that you guys want to do.
You speak Celestial, right? Or am I imagining that? You speak a lot of languages.
I do speak Celestial.
That'll be good.
That'll help, I think.
I speak 5 languages, oh my god.
You've never sat down and thought about it.
Hey, that's one more than I speak.
Anyways, yeah, I'll let you know when I go to the Temple of Severa, Meli, and you can help me out with that.
Okay.
Oh, and you might be interested in something that I found. And I pull out the little pyramid-shaped puzzle box. This seems like something you'd have better luck with than I would. And I pass that over to her.
I will take it and immediately start trying to figure out how to work it out.
What is that again? The pyramid?
It's the puzzle box that we got from the rider, from the belongings of the rider who was attacked by the gryphons.
Yeah. Meli, roll a intelligence check for me.
Okay. 23.
You fiddle with it for a few minutes. It's a puzzle. You twist some of the pieces and you figure out you have to pull this one out first and then rotate the other. And within a minute or so, it comes undone. And when it does, the pieces fall apart. And inside of the pyramid box, you see a small face made out of metal. You see, it looks like something between a humanoid cat face. It seems to be smiling.
I'll hold the face up to Ellory. Did you want this?
I mean, I don't know what to make of it. You opened
I-
that thing real fucking quickly.
I had a lot of spare time as a kid.
A lot of spare brains.
Do I recognize the cat face thing?
Do you have religion? Make a religion check.
I have religion. You have religion. I got a 12.
With a 12, and from Vesper, I think I already said it as well. It is the face of Rossarab. So you know that much, and Vesper kind of whispers over your shoulder, Chimera's dream. It's a god of knowledge and trickery and puzzles and mirages.
Okay, I'll put the puzzle back together again, I guess.
And as y'all are gathered, deciding where to go and who's going where, Kalvyn, you left. Where are you heading?
Kalvyn is on his way back to the Temple of All Soul.
Okay. You travel there to the district over. You can see the forges and the smoke rising up, and eventually the temple with its glass dome, stained glass dome.
He will walk inside and trying to stay out of the way of anything that's immediately going on, but at the same time looking for a familiar face, any that he might have saw. I don't remember if we had worked with the High Beacon or another night or two. I honestly don't remember a lot of what happened. So
you don't see the beacon that you recognize. You do see a half-orc that you recognize. With the auburn red hair pulled back, shaved at the temples, with the dark iron plate and the sun mantle cape. You can see her. She's kind of walking out in the back.
If he can, he will catch up.
Okay. You catch up to her. She kind of turns. What is it?
I'm sorry to bother you. I was...
You were in here a week ago.
I'm sorry? Yes, that was me. I didn't come in on my own accord. I was revived, I believe. Listen, shoot words. I needed to talk to you all, I guess, about some stuff. And I was offered some rooming. Is that still available by any chance?
Yeah, it's around. Here, come this way. She leads you out the back, and out the back side of the temple, there's sort of a outer courtyard where you see there are 8 forges burning with hot fire, 8 separate anvils, and you see numerous people working on them. She passes through that and continues forward where you see another large building, a rotunda. 100 feet it rises in that same sandstone marble. The diameter has to be as wide as it is tall, so about 100 feet wide as well. You can see on the top the stained glass dome of the sun coming in, and as you get closer, you can see coming out like spokes out of a wheel smaller rotundas with their own glass domes, 8 of them that seem to surround this larger rotunda. Upon each of those smaller chambers on the outside, you see statues, massive of solars. The marble is from anywhere from white to gray to black, that are bronze and gilded with different depictions of the solars. There's no direct door into the main rotunda. Instead, you follow this Nymunet, this half-orc, who leads down the steps to an underbridge. And as she continues in there, you can see stairs that lead up. And as you spiral back up, you're led up into the center of that massive chamber. You see 100 feet up that stained glass, and the glass is set to depict Valisol as the sun in the center, with the spear of radiance and shield in each hand. And on the wall surrounding you in a circle are engravings of Valisol, the Solar Saints, the children, and these large horses with tall ears. You could also see 8 entrances into those smaller chambers, those smaller rotunda surrounding it. You come out of the center spiral staircase, and the half-orc kind of turns to you after you look around. This is the Order of Luminance. There'll be places to stay in each of the chambers, in each of the orders. Which order are you?
Just to clarify, are the orders based off of the Solars, or is there...
Seems to be. You see depictions over each of the entrances of the different Solars.
Is there one, like, for, I apologize if I butcher your name, Hardrick?
There is one. You see the depiction of Solar Herderic, and you see the order above the entrance, Order of Oaths. You can see by that entrance an engraving of Solar Herderic with his head down speaking the oath. You can see through the entrance, that open doorway, this large, maybe 12 feet tall, 10 feet wide entranceway. You can see words within the chamber. That's kind of hard to read from here.
I apologize. My knowledge of how any of this works is I'm very ignorant to the whole thing. I was almost in passing given my mantle by the High Beacon in Whitebridge. But I do know there is a connection to myself and Herdrick.
Well, there's 8 orders. 1 order for each solar. Each an order of a different virtue. Order, truth, sacrifice, justice, will, perfection, expression, and oaths. I'm in will. She points over towards the entrance to the Order of Will.
Hold on a sec. I have to take a few notes. Have I gotten her name?
I'm not sure if you have or not.
Okay, then don't worry about it.
It may have been mentioned to you before.
Right.
But it's been a week and you were half unconscious. I'm of the Order Will. But, why don't you wait here and I'll get Sergius. He knows more than I.
Thank you.
She nods and heads off. She heads into the entrance to the Order of Truth, and a couple minutes later comes out with a individual. You see a older male, maybe in his early 50s, with the grayish, lightened white hair. As he gets closer, you can see his eyes are almost faded silverish gray. As he comes over, he's tall but thin. You see he wears a light steel chain. There's a javelin on his back as well as a bow, in addition to the cape, as he comes over. The half-orc comes with him. This is Nymunet Sergius. He will know more than I. She kind of looks towards the man and nods, puts her hand on your shoulder, and nods to you. Walk in the light.
Walk in the light.
Sergius says it as well. She leaves and heads into the chamber for the Order of Will. Oh, my name's Nymunet Sergius. You said you had questions. I'm looking for a place to stay.
Yes, there's a lot I need to learn. I don't know the terminology for everything, but I was ordained illuminate by the High Beacon of Whitebridge.
I see your cape, yes.
At the same time, there are circumstances to my coming to the temple. My original visit was not a fortunate one. I was recently resurrected.
I remember, yes. But you're back.
Yes, thanks to the graces of the High Beacon, I believe.
And Valasol.
Of course. You don't know the half of it. That's actually one of the things I need to talk about. There's some circumstances surrounding my resurrection that I don't even know where to begin. The skinny of it is I went to Herderic in his prison in the Abyss.
You what?
Yeah.
In death, followers of Valasol pass through the Solars on their way to Valasol for judgment. And you say Herderic is where?
Are you familiar with the song of the imprisonment of Herderic?
As you say that, his eyebrow kind of raises and his eyes squint, in a little bit of surprise. I've read it before. It's been some time. Poem, from what I remember.
Yeah, I was given a copy of it along with my mantle from the High Beacon and Whitebridge. Like I said, there's a lot to unpack. If you want to do all this now, that's cool, but I don't know how much. Okay, so
if you need a place to stay as a Nymunet, you have it. Pick your order. Below there's lodging, bunks. As to what you saw in death, I would like to hear it, and I'm sure the High Beacon would like to hear it as well.
And I would like to share it with you all.
She will be back soon. Do you want to share with her then?
Yeah, I would appreciate that, an opportunity to kind of sort it out. That gives me time to kind of work through a lot. There's been a lot of things going on, and I think that are also relevant. So
there's a meeting in the Rotunda Law in the Precipice. She'll be returning from that this evening. When she does, I can make sure she comes here. Would you like to meet here in the orders?
That would work. I don't know this place very well, so this is as good as any to me.
Okay. When she returns, I will let her know. Should be just after nightfall.
Now, I know the orders are based off of the virtues. I had always thought that my virtue was one of sacrifice, but as I have expressed my connection to a particular solar, I don't know if that is still true.
It can be, yes. Unusual, but it can be. As I'm in the Order of Truth, I present to Solar Avare. This does not prevent me from working with the Order of Sacrifice, or Sunface, or Justice, or Will. There are bounds in these orders, which we typically stick to, but they are not rule of law. We are all children of Valasor. We have an Order of Sacrifice here, even without a Solar to guide it. And he nods towards the most northern 8th entrance into the Order sub-Rotunda, the chamber.
Well, I guess for now that makes the most sense. I do appreciate everything, and I hope we can make sense of all this.
I hope so as well. What was your name again, Nymunet? Kalvyn. My name again is Nymunet Sergius. I'll be sure that the Soul Beacon is aware when she returns. Come here at nightfall and we will discuss.
Yes, sir. Actually, if it's all right, sometimes working on the forge helps me clear my head. Would it be all right to work on some things?
Of course, there are 8 forges.
Thank you.
He actually walks with you, leads you back towards those series of 8 forges that are out in the open under the sun. You see he walks over to a dwarven fellow, thick eyebrows, thick beard that kind of curves up at the end, stocky, he puts his arm on the dwarf and kind of looks toward you, points towards you, and the dwarf kind of nods his head, says something. And Sergius comes back and points towards one of the empty forges.
Okay. Shoot, Kalvyn will nod and thanks, both towards him and the dwarf, if he can make eye contact.
You can see he's slamming on an anvil, but he kind of nods at you and goes back to work.
And then, assuming that's that, Kalvyn would move his stuff to the wherever.
Okay. Yeah. You can take your stuff. They'll show you each rotunda has a stairs down below where there's sort of a living quarters and small, simple bunks that you can stay in for free. Do you tell any of the scales, or do you just continue to forge until nightfall?
If he has the time, I don't know how long it'll take to do stuff, and he doesn't want to be late. So I don't know what you think I can do.
What are you trying to do about that?
Just a couple things that I've talked to you about. Okay. Nothing big, nothing special. Just mostly, I think there's 2 projects.
So as you hammer, you purchase the metal and you begin to hammer it down. Give me a smithing check. You can see each forge is partially fueled by fire salts. You can see celestial runes engraved in the forges themselves. The fires are hot. Hotter than any forge you've worked on so far.
Is this with strength, or I know you had me use dexterity before for some...
Strength on the first check.
Okay.
Just to get the basic shape.
That's a 30-20.
Okay. Yeah, you slam it to pieces and eventually get it into the correct shape, and then give me one more with dexterity to do the more fine details.
That didn't work out. That was a natural one.
Okay. You get the shape and the metal strong, but as you go to put in some of those finer details, you slowly work in those intricate, finer details using other smaller pieces to kind of mold the metal in such a way. And as you're putting on one of the final touches, you slam the hammer and it piece bends in, breaking. You might be able to repair it, but you won't be able to finish that part today.
Then I definitely won't be going back to the group.
Okay, so you have a broken version of what you were working on currently. The rest, the scales, you guys, Kalvyn left, and it's been a number of hours. What have you guys been up to?
Would have gone to the hospital to find my trainer.
I was actually going to bring something up before everybody went on their own ways.
I was about to say, it sounds like we're about to enter downtime stuff.
So I kind of hate to bring this up, but I think there's something that all of us should talk about, and maybe it should wait until Kalvyn gets back here so that he can hear all of it too. But, well, Vesper brought up once before that we should all know each other's wishes in case something is to happen to any of us, and we never did talk about it. But given how things went recently, I think we should. Maybe not now, but I don't think we want to put it off too long.
We have the advantage that we've already asked Kalvyn.
Yeah.
I mean, probably want to know what to be done with the ashes, but
I think we should all know about each other so that we don't have another situation like that where we have to use that spell. What we want done, if it isn't possible to bring any one of us back, what options we would be willing to agree to get back.
That's fair. Especially if things are going to start getting more and more dangerous for us.
Yeah.
But I think that's a discussion that we should all have together, so that
I
all of us
agree.
know, at the very least, so that all of us know what everyone else wants.
I wanted to bring it up now so that we can all think about it if we don't already have an idea. I'm pretty sure I know what I want.
I think I've known since before we left.
But we should talk about that soon.
Some time to think on it, and then we'll get back together and have a little chat about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of sounds like y'all might be entering downtime. Is that right, or no?
I assume
It sounds like
starting there.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
think so.
okay. Yeah. It sounds like a lot of like split stuff, and so instead of doing that, we'll do it into downtime. So as you guys settle in for the long haul in the ancient and holy city of Nymunet to research and explore questions and explore your own faith and abilities, where do we find you as you begin these journeys? Where are your first steps for each of you? We see Kalvyn. Since we left off on him, we see him entering and moving through the rotunda of the Order of Luminance. We see him at the forge, sweating over an anvil once more, something small and metallic shining in his grasp. We can't quite make it out what it is yet. We see standing behind him over his shoulders, sun gleaming off their armor, a priest and a knight, a Nymunet. Does that sound right, Michael?
That's pretty spot on. I mean, maybe a focus on his face. He's very troubled, worried. It's very apparent. It's not someone to not wear his emotions on his sleeve, so.
Ezekiel will go back to the Outer Groves talking to the keepers, but he will consistently look west, nervous that he hasn't received any more word.
I'll do Meli. We see Meli, who's... You see a stack of 7, 8 books piled onto a table. As you see her flip one open. Letting out a sigh, she begins to research, tear through notes and books and tomes in a dark room, lit only by blue cold fire.
I guess we see Vesper in the hospitals, helping with patients, taking care of people. And in her spare time, she's been journaling, taking notes this whole time, and spending hours over a journal where she's taking intricate notes about different herbs and different procedures and anatomy and things like that. And she's trying to make a cohesive medical journal for herself and studying alchemy in any spare moment she gets. I don't think she sees a lot of the other scales for a while.
Bál, Ellory, Amsen.
I think we see Ellory going back to the Adisic temple, waiting for word from Saris to see if she's returned yet. And in the meantime, spending a lot of time up on that platform, just looking into the storm and thinking.
I think Amsen will basically be performing for the first little while until he gets a better idea of everyone else's schedules as they go off to do their things. And while the rest of the party is gone, he's going to go to the Temple of Rasarab.
Okay. And Bál.
You see Bál in his room kind of just doing a little inventory on his stuff, all of his equipment. He's put most of it away, and all that's left on his bed is Oni glaive with the handle of red wood and the long blade of bone. Grips that. He's kind of trying to make sense of it and puts it away. And then as he puts it away, it just kind of clinks against the Oni mask that he has as well. And then he picks up his longsword, the one that was that he found a while ago, and he's kind of looking to return it to the one of the soldiers of Wolfrath, looking at the blue spirals that go up and down the hilt of the blade. And then he grips that, and as he grips that sword and starts to lift his hand up to put it, I guess, sheath it, you can also see kind of the red flames of his eyes glow as he walks up the room.
And with the bronze scales beginning their time in Nymunet, that is where we'll leave off, and we'll come back next week.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Back to the Story. For notifications when an episode goes live, you can find us on Stitcher, Google Play, Player FM, or TuneIn. Download the app and subscribe or favorite us there. We also have a YouTube channel called Back to the Story, an actual play podcast. If you'd like to contact us, you can tweet us at back2_the_story. If you can't fit it into 280 characters, you can email us at thebonfirefables@gmail.com. And if you'd like further information about the campaign, the player characters, or behind-the-scenes sneak peeks, follow us on either Twitter or our Tumblr website. Lastly, if you'd like to support the show, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory.